I'll take a motion from you guys, whatever.
To whomever has it can still keep it.
Yeah.
That's it. I second that.
And I apologize, I don't know who's who.
It's Corey.
Corey,
Yeah.
okay, so Corey, yeah, Corey's
Sorry.
more than welcome to keep
Yeah.
it. Yep.
You're fine with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
So we have a first from Scott, second from Mr. Shergy. So that motion passes. Well, I'm sorry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any? No. Okay. I didn't think anybody.
There's such a big crowd of us.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so. All right, congrats, Corey. You will be the president. And then, just need a motion for election of vice president. I believe Dr. Bushman is.
And let him keep
Yeah.
that too.
It's,
I'll
John,
second it.
John has done a great job.
All right, so we have a motion by Scott, second by Corey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks, guys. You guys can roll with the rest of it then.
Okay. So next item on the agenda would be the roll call.
Corey Rodriguez,
Here.
John Bushman,
Here.
Jeffrey Smith, Dan Shergy,
Here.
Scott McAvoy.
Here.
Okay, next item on the agenda would be the approval of the agenda. If there's no questions, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approval of the agenda. Next item, approval of meeting minutes from the meeting November 29th, 2023. Any questions? If not, could I have a motion to
Motion to accept.
approve?
Typo on number 5, Scott McAvoy to approve the 20024 meeting dates. There's an extra 0 in there.
Okay, so with the noted change, can I have a motion to approve the minute meetings from November 29th?
Yep.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. The next item says public hearing,
Yeah, we don't have any. It's just that out.
and then the next item would be staff updates and discussion.
We don't really have any updates. We've been working on a subdivision regulation update. I've literally been working on it for 6 years, back and forth. Last did we met with all the developers again for it felt like the time to go through every single comment they have, and then we gave it back to county commission. So that's all we've really been working on. But in terms of zoning ordinance that we've talked about before, I've talked with Jeff and Anthony from legal and extent about what would have to happen to update that, and I believe there would have to be some type of either a petition or you guys would have to come to an agreement to update those. In terms of what it would look like, it would be more or less the members of the Task Force zoning district and this body deciding what's updated.
Right.
But like I said before, I think if what you guys want to keep is how you want to keep it and don't really want to change anything, then just updating the language to match like our process is now might be beneficial. There's a lot of verbiage in there that refers to stuff that's not real life now in terms of how site plans get approved.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be more or less you just changing it to reference the approved subdivision regulations, Berkeley County, just verbiage like that.
So Laura, if that would ever take place, is the comprehensive growth area and the ordinance as far as subdivision ordinance, where do we stand in that? Is that does ours take precedent over those two because we're a zoned area of our own? But so what holds more value if an issue would ever come up?
The zoning.
Our zoning?
Yeah, the zoning
Okay.
ordinance, yeah. Well,
Okay.
the zoning ordinance is obviously more restrictive, so it protects you guys more. So the comprehensive plan, is kind of just a document.
I mean, that's more or less like a guide,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
if
it's
you will.
not very accurate. We have to update it every 10 years. It was done in 2016. So
Ah,
the growth areas on those, I'll tell you right now, are just based on public utilities. That's all it
okay.
is. And that doesn't account for extensions that have happened as of late, stuff like that. Without overall zoning, that growth map is just kind of, you
It's
know what I
wherever it's
mean?
gonna go. It's whoever buys what they wanna do with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of infrastructure, I mean, you can get community well systems, you can get community sewer systems as long as the state health department, county health
Approves them.
department approves it.
Okay.
So your zoning ordinance would be more restrictive for sure.
Okay.
The subdivision regulations are more of like a guide on how things have to be designed. So if you had a project come up in the Tuscarora zoning ordinance district, kind of how subdivision
The reserve.
reserve.
Yeah.
We had our subdivision regulations that, you know, set the setbacks and stuff, but yours were more restrictive with the zoning ordinance, so they had to
Okay.
do those. But I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Okay.
I can tell you the draft ordinance for the update isn't any more restrictive than what we have now in terms of those items. There are things in there that we've updated and changed, but it's nothing to like reduce growth.
Yeah.
Have they put forth another set of plans yet for the 17 acres? That's the part that
Yeah, me
really
too, Scott.
concerns me. Because
Yeah.
on one hand, I feel for Alan because it's very limited as far as what can be done on that 17 acres. And then I feel for us because realistically,
You're next to it.
yeah, we're right up
It's
against
right behind
it,
my
and
house.
It's gonna bastardize our property value.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything, haven't heard anything. I think the way it is right now, like with everything going on with the economy, we're not going to.
Right.
I mean, obviously, he can't have any dense housing, and if he was gonna do single families there, would have done it already.
They can't, the thing that concerns me the most is when we had our meeting here before, there's verbiage in there that the, Steve, I don't know, pronounce his name right,
Matthias.
Shavanovich.
Oh, Steve Sianovich.
Yeah, from Fox. When I brought it up, he was unaware of it. And there's verbiage in there which, Eddie and everybody assured me that no, that it still has to follow the Tuscarora zoning, and I pray that holds true. But I'm
Oh,
almost,
it would. I mean, they would have to bring the sketch plan in, and I'd have to review it against the zoning ordinance, and then this body would see it again.
but the way the verbiage is written, it's detrimental to the zoning.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody, again, said it would still have to come before everybody before.
Yeah, and
Which-
there would
which
be
is
nothing.
fine. Yeah,
There would be nothing that would allow it to not.
stay.
Yeah, it would have to come back before.
But it's,
Don't worry about that. Seriously, it's gonna come back before if
Oh, yeah.
anything happens to it.
right.
I have to make it. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the one reviewing it, and I'm gonna know it's in the district. I'm not gonna,
Right.
you know what I mean? So
There was talks probably a year ago about even with the reworking the district, like sort of redrawing the boundary lines to sort of incorporate the entirety of like Mountain Brook Estates and
Chateau
Mill Point
Gay.
and Chateau Gay.
Yeah.
Since it kind of cuts them through the middle. Has there been any further looking into that?
I'm not looking into it. What would have to happen is those HOAs would have to basically petition and ask to be added into those areas.
Okay.
And what kind of breaks my heart is I've met with a lot of those guys and the folks that wear, and I don't remember the exact percentage, say 30% is outside of it and the
Yeah.
other 70% is in. They don't seem to see it as a concern because their HOA.
It's so strong.
protect
They
them
feel, yeah.
from anything, and they haven't made forth any effort to incorporate it into the Tuscarora zone.
Yeah.
And I've met with the Roaches, because they own a good bit of property out there now and so forth, and they have not seemed to have an interest in it at this time.
Yeah.
So I was shocked. I really did think that, like, the folks in Chateau Gay and some of your folks and some of the folks back in Mill Point, where it kind of gets coordinated, would really be into going ahead and
Me
saying,
too.
okay, let's
just
let's
incorporate
kind
all
of rectangular this up. Let's clean these lines up a little bit, but nobody seems.
I
And
guess I'm
I've
not
left
shocked.
it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
right, they're
we don't want to do
comfortable.
anything if it's not bothering them right now.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's not pushing them, then they're not.
Right.
pursuing.
It was a concern when everything came about with that reserve, and then all of a
Right.
sudden
Yeah.
now that's kind of
in control.
in
so-
control, now everyone's like not worrying about it.
Correct.
And I mean, they are kind of correct to an extent with their covenants and restrictions, because those are even more restrictive than a zoning ordinance and hold more authority than a zoning ordinance most of the time. But there's pros and cons to
Right.
both of it, I feel.
Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Nope.
If not, can I have a motion to adjourn?
A second.
All in favor, say aye. We're adjourned.
Thank you guys.